Let's talk about Marina Barrage, the furthest point of Gardens by the Bay, situated right by the sea. This pedestrian bridge is actually a dam that divides the sea from the freshwater of Marina Reservoir. It might not be the most visually striking part of the complex, but let me give you some facts that I think make it worth a visit. Firstly, when it was completed in 2008, by creating a barrier between the bay and the sea, it allowed the reservoir, which previously had mainly salt water, to gradually desalinate. And how did they desalinate it? Well, they just waited. After rainwater fell, it flowed into the rivers, and the rivers emptied into the reservoir, pushing out the salt water. Within 2 years, this reservoir could already solve 10% of the water needs for consumption of this city of over 6 million inhabitants. And if you're wondering, it's not the only one, as there are 17 similar reservoirs, such as Pungol and Serangoon, in the northeast of the island. But the charm of Marina Barrage is that it's in the heart of the city. A bit far from the other attractions, I admit, but you can walk there from the center. And it's multifunctional because besides offering water storage, it helps with flood control, especially in low-lying areas of the city like Chinatown, the Rochor area, and Geylang. And as if that wasn't enough, it's also a recreational space to feed your tourist heart and your Instagram. It's no wonder it won an award from the American Academy of Environmental Engineers in 2009. If the fact of treasuring freshwater doesn't seem so exciting, Marina Barrage has some spaces that are worth visiting. First of all, there's this building, the largest in the complex, visible from the super trees of Gardens by the Bay and shaped like a white spiral. It has stairs and elevators to take you to its upper level. But if you come, I think the most fun might be to climb the spiral to its green roof, which is itself a park called Sky Park. Below, the building itself houses an interactive exhibition on the relevance of water and the environment called the Sustainable Singapore Gallery. Taking advantage of the tremendous significance of this infrastructure for the survival of Singapore. The last time I went to visit these facilities, it was free. But once you climb up to the green roof of the Sky Park, you'll have one of the most beautiful views of the entire Marina Bay complex. And you can also visit a resting area by the sea for the people of Singapore. It's quite common to see people flying kites, having a picnic, or simply lying on the grass, resting. Depending on the time of year, it can be more or less tolerable to be here, because sometimes the sun and humidity make visitors like me want to run to an air-conditioned place. But on another visit, I had a very pleasant breeze. If the heat becomes unbearable, a survival tip is that, at the base of the building, there is a small commercial area where you can buy cold water. And there are also bathrooms. Being there, you can also go to the Marina Barrage Dam, which is on the side. And that, in the logic of multiple uses, is a pedestrian bridge that connects to Marina East, a huge park, although it is the least known area of Gardens by the Bay. Looking at the bridge, you can see how on one side it has fresh water and on the other side it has salt water from the sea. This structure, which might seem insignificant, plays a heroic role for the city. As I said, the dam protects the city from floods. So when it rains heavily, which is typical in the area, its 9 gates will activate to release excess rainwater into the sea when the tide is low. And if there's a high tide? No problem, because 7 pumps capable of pumping an Olympic-sized swimming pool per minute will take care of draining the excess water into the sea. No big deal. And it doesn't do this by magic, as there's a team here constantly monitoring changes in the weather, the reservoir level, and the sea level. And this same team monitors that the water in the reservoir is in a condition to be converted into drinking water. Finally, although it's already on the seaside, you can walk along this much more modest viewpoint, which allows you to see the Marina Barrage facilities from the outside. So, if you come to Gardens by the Bay, don't forget to visit this sector, which is actually key to the life of the rest of the complex and the city.